Hey guys! Little less prettied up than usual. I still have the remains of yesterday's Ariel makeup on, thus the red eyebrows. Because I have had an incredibly busy week, but I wanted to get this out here. So today I am talking about the myth of ethical porn. You've definitely heard of these places. They say they're not like other porn companies, that their models are all natural and beautiful and genuine and totally not abused, and there's no abusiveness. It's super important that they just emphasize that over and over and over again. And more importantly than anything, they're not career porn stars, and this is all fun and empowering for women everywhere. And it's bullshit. It's complete fucking bullshit. Porn isn't inherently unethical. Alternative porn isn't inherently better either. In a lot of ways, these companies tend to be actually more exploitative than their mainstream counterparts. By creating this kind of dynamic, what they do is they create a system where they don't want regular models. They need a really high turnover because they don't want you to believe for a moment that these girls are career porn stars. As a result, they hire a lot of hobby workers who are there for one-off shoots or just trying to make quick cash. And that means, more often than not, that the models are only on a model release form. There's no contract, there's very, very, very short-term work. Most of the intensive work on these shoots is generally done by the models themselves. I've done a couple of these shoots, and it means that I'm the camera operator, I'm the microphone operator, and I'm also expected to act much more realistically. I'm meant to make sure that I'm having a real orgasm and be more authentic. And all of that is done for less pay and no guarantee of any future work whatsoever. That's not the only issue with the companies. The empowerment rhetoric that they bring out is something that people fighting against porn talk about a lot. The whole, like, sex work is empowering thing isn't something that you'll actually hear from a lot of sex workers when we're talking about labour rights. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking in terms of decriminalisation and legalisation. But it's used in those conversations, the fact that sex work isn't empowering, and ultimately, empowerment is irrelevant to everything. That empowerment rhetoric is used to kind of distract from real issues and real conversations that we're having. It distracts from conversations about real issues with porn, like the racism and the low pay rates and the abusers that do actually find their way into the industry and are sheltered in a lot of ways. We're not talking about empowerment, and when empowerment is brought up in conversations with us, it's largely used to shut us down and try and silence and ignore what we've been saying. The people paying us don't necessarily want any change in the industry. They get a lot of benefit from giving this dichotomy of good porn and bad porn because the people who are running the good porn don't have to shell out as much cash. It also helps give them a distinctive brand, which can help them find themselves a market in a very, very, very competitive market. Because let's be real, they're competing with porn sites like Pornhub that make all their money off really just stealing porn off workers that don't get paid for it being on there. If you really, really want to support porn sites that actively support their workers, if you want to avoid at all funding abusers, there's only really a couple of ways to go about it. Buy from independent models who are selling their work directly, or buy from cam workers, tip your cam workers, and holy shit, please, please, pay for your goddamn porn. The stolen stuff is fucking us over on so many levels. So that's all I've really got to talk about this week. Probably gonna have another video coming out soon. Thank you for watching.